Welcome you back to the end zone. It's not often we get a rivalry matchup in the playoffs. This next game, however, is an exception that happened not only tonight, but also last season. And as Haley Hollinger elaborates for us, bad blood is nothing unusual between Wallace Rose Hill and James Keenan.
Yeah, Dugan, and there's a lot to unpack with these two. Not only did the Tigers knock the Bulldogs out of the playoffs last year, they also just saw each other a couple weeks ago where James Keenan also took the W. But we all know it's hard to beat a team twice, especially with a rowdy Bulldog team looking to get out of the kennel. Little bit of deja vu from back in October. The Tigers would score early again. Here's Eli Avent getting loose. Little help from Jeremiah Hall, and he's going to break through that gap and be home free for the second James Keenan touchdown of the night. Wallace Rose Hill would block the PAT and then make it 13-0 before half. And in the Bulldogs' first drive of the second half, the Tigers would show off that dominant defense again. But lucky for Wallace Rose Hill, Jamari Lamb would finally sneak into the Tigers' den to go 7-13 and keep them in the game. Unfortunately, that wouldn't last long because on the next drive, James Keenan's Christopher Hill would get a little pitch and get out of there. His score would make it 19-7, but the Tigers would score again, besting the Bulldogs 26-7. And Coach Tim Grady says he's proud of all the hard work his guys have put in so far this season, especially the seniors.
Very determined, one of the great group of leaders that I've ever been around, in coaching ball for over 20 years. So I'm very proud of them. I mean, all the way back to January to today, they've been relentless, they've been determined, and they just don't seem to want to stop. So I'm going to keep riding this train with them.
Coach Grady also said his guys have to just keep grinding as they progress further into the playoffs. Unfortunately, this will be the second time in a row that James Keenan will have knocked Wallace Rose Hill, and they are done for the season.
All right, thanks, Haley. To the Tigers, still riding that train as they're going to be watching a lot of film from our next matchup coming up in the following week. Right now, we're going to stay in the 3A bracket where Aiden Grifton left Pitt County tonight for a trip to Whiteville. This was a clash of 8 and 9 seeds in the biggest test of the Chargers season. Down a score early, Nigel Morgan had an answer on the kickoff. This guy gets it done in all three phases of the game, this time evening the score up for Aiden Grifton. From there, they tack on 2 more scores to give their defense a 20-7 second quarter lead to work with, but they were not done scoring just yet. Off a deflection, who else but Nigel Morgan? He puts the Bullets up 27-6 going into the half, and despite a frantic Wolfpack rally, they hold on 27-26 to go back to the third round for a second straight year.